Hello there, welcome to this tutorial where we're going to help you set up your new project using Taiga. This is the welcoming screen once you've registered, and there's really nothing interesting here still going on, but we can already create a project. That's what we're going to do. So we are presented with four options. I'm going to skip duplicate project and import project because they are advanced features, and just focus on Scrum and Kanban. Probably you are familiar with both methodologies. Both are agile and have lean properties. Scrum is about commitment, team commitments over a fixed period of time, prioritizing a backlog and measuring velocity. Whereas Kanban is a more fluid and organic way to track how different tasks move across different states or columns. And then trying to optimize that cycle. What is the minimum time that I can get on average a task that enters the Kanban before it ends its life cycle and is finished or rejected, whatever you want. So I'm going to go and select Scrum just because it's a lot of people are familiar and a lot of people come to Agile through Scrum, but we might do a similar video using Kanban. So I'm going to give this project a name, Scrum Test Project, and description. This is just a demo. Taiga will then ask whether you want the project to be public or private. I'm not going to go into detail now. I'm just going to assume by default people want it to be private for the purpose of this tutorial. So it's going to be private. So just basically this means only team members will access the contents and the existence even of this project. Okay, here we are. We have our project. This is the main screen for the Scrum module. And what we see here is the backlog area here, which is empty. Makes sense. We have here the burn down chart, which is also empty. There's no statistics, there's no velocity, so we don't show anything. And here we have this area that will show sprints. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create some user stories. I'm going to use this very convenient feature, which allows me to add them in bulk, which basically just asks for one title per line, and all of them will be created just in one go. One more here, user story 6. Okay, so I do this and I have my first user stories here. I can say that this is what is more has more priority than the others, and then change my mind with 5, or just move down. This is how a very simple backlog operations. The higher up, the more priority the user story has. And then I'm going to create our first sprint, sprint test. Taiga is just suggesting dates based on the information Taiga has about the project. These are fine. 2-week long sprints are by default Taiga selection. They are really convenient. So there we are. And just let's go and select the 3 most priority user stories, and there we have it. And if I want to go into more detail, I have my sprint task board here. These are the user stories. User stories typically are split into tasks because there's some people might just say, okay, this is just one user story, one task. But usually what happens is you want to split a user story into tiny bits. And so I'm going to do that. Again, using the same shortcut. You don't have to do this all the time. You can use add task and then give a lot of detail. But this bulk insert for the purpose of the tutorial is super convenient because I have these boxes now here and playing with that. Okay. Oops. I changed the task to a different user story. Well, it might make sense. Cool. So probably you're wondering, okay, but I'm not going to do this alone. I'm going to have a team, and different people might belong to different groups of people or roles, and they might have different permissions. You're absolutely right. Let's go to the admin pane. Admin pane can be accessed if you have the rights. I mean, since I created the project, definitely I do have the rights to access the administration panel here. I'm going to skip and go directly to permissions, which is what really matters here. And you see we have these roles: user experience, design, front and back, very software development centric. We're going to get rid of them. First, just delete UX. Taiga will ask me, well, which other role will inherit all the work from this deleted role, which is super cool because I know I'm not missing anything. It's just going to a different role. Design is okay. Well, actually going to delete design. Front is the new lead, is now back, and then even back has to give everything to product owner. We have now product owner, stakeholder, and this external user. And you see everything is blank because we said private project, so no external user are allowed. Now I'm going to add this new role called legal, why not, or marketing, and IT. And these are new roles, fine. Legal, I'm going to give them more permissions, like the typical view, add, modify, or comment. Nice color pattern here, so you can very quickly identify the sort of permissions different roles enjoy. I'm going to leave wiki for the moment. Marketing, I'm just going to say they can do all this, but only that. And IT, I'm going to give them everything, including deletion. You see, this is very quickly. This is just one-time setup. You do this. You can change anytime, of course, but it's very cool that you can do this very quickly. Also, I'm going to say that IT can estimate user stories. So that means that user stories will ask you, well, what amount of effort, what investment in terms of time or effort, whatever you want to call it, is going to take. Which roles are allowed to say something about that? I'm going to say IT can, and also legal. So both are invited to contribute to the overall user story estimation. Now, estimation is a controversial topic in Agile, as you might probably know. So I'm going to skip that and go directly to inviting members. So I'm just going to do this. I just use an email. If that email is already in the system, it automatically adds that person to the project. And going to give IT role and just a warm welcome, okay? And it says pending because this email address is not recognized. So it's going to receive an invite for Taiga itself, the platform, whether it's your private instance or taiga.io. And then when this user is registered, the user will automatically be added to this project, and they will be able to see whatever they are out to based on their role. One thing you can do also is give admin privileges to this user, which means that in a way that user can do all this stuff like permission tuning or adding members or accessing everything under administration panel. So just this is up to you really, which members you want to have this admin status. Okay, well, I think this is everything. Very simple setup of a project. I hope you enjoy it. See you in the next video.